There. Mm-hmm. To there. You're good.
Okay. And I'm on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good evening. I've been listening to you guys a couple of weeks. I'm back tonight. And tonight, we're going to talk about why the truth. Why the truth. So many people in this day and age think you can tell a little lie and that lie would suffice. But no lies suffice. Every time you tell a lie, you discredit yourself and you get yourself in a little bit more hot water. Best thing a man can do is tell all the truth. And if that truth, somehow we think that truth is going to get us in trouble. If you just, like a baby. Baby run break something through the house and he come back and tell you a lie. Why? Because he think he's going to get whipped. But if the baby come and tell the truth to his mom and daddy, I broke it. What do you want me to do to correct it? And the mom and daddy would have more respect for that kid who stood up and told the truth. And everybody else, somebody that you violated, if you went to them and apologized and just told the truth about what you did, they would forgive you. They would forgive you because you had the courage enough to tell the truth. Well, let's take a look at it. Truth.
No truth. No truth.
Where it come from? Where the truth come from? Where does it come from? Where the truth come from? Can I tell you where you think truth comes from?
Truth comes when you talk.
Where does it come from? It work for you in jail. You and you go to jail, well, God have a purpose for you in jail. Because that's where the truth wind up pushing you, right? But most folks are scared of that because when you get on the truth, you get out there all by yourself. And when you get by yourself, you're scared because you think you got a protector coming. Hey. So this is the most powerful thing on earth, truth. Not money, not how many people you got behind you. Do you know you could be in a crowd of 100,000 people and they be saying, Dontel, we got your back. And somebody get up on the roof and send a bullet down there, you know what I mean? Your trial can't protect you. Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
We talk about truth in here.
Truth.
Okay.
Because why the truth? Because if the truth comes from God and you get in trouble by telling it, don't you know God is behind you? Because that's the principle. And if you get sent to jail, don't you know there's some work God wants you to do in jail? Because that's where the truth led you to. Wherever the truth leads you to, that's where God wants you.
Yeah, he led me in 2007. Yeah, and when I told the truth, well, I was going to work for the board of election, and they didn't believe me. They had to go on through some trial and tribulation to find out.
But you told the truth, right?
Yeah.
So what happens when you tell the truth? You kill this big old bird.
Yeah.
You kill him. Because you ain't got to tell no lie. You can tell whatever your story is when you told the truth, it could be told 1,000 times the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same way.
Yeah.
But when you tell a lie, you can't tell it the same way. Don't care who you are. You're going to study, you're going to do something, you're going to do a jig, you're going to scratch your head, you're going to do something.
You're going to
But
change.
you cannot tell a lie the same way 2 times. Why? Because it's a lie. But the truth, you can tell it the same way.
Yeah, you can tell that story every day, all day, and all
Why?
night too.
Because it don't bring up shame in you. Shame in you. So somebody said, man, if I told this lie, I could become mayor. But if I told the truth, I'm not going to make it. You know what? I'd rather be a man that didn't make it than a man who told the truth and become a man. Why? Because if you steal something to get there, you got to keep on stealing to keep it. You see what I'm saying? That's it. You see what I'm saying? So, the reason why my brother, Ibrahim Torre, the reason why they can't corner him, because he always tells the truth.
Yeah.
Trump tried to corner him like he was big stuff and looked to Ibrahim says, That's not your goal. That's our goal. It's in our land. And then he tried, once he found out he couldn't get Ibrahim, he couldn't threaten him. Ibrahim said, you do what you got to do. We protect in our country. And once he found out he couldn't trick him, then he went to trying to tell lies to get to him, you know. Once I can't threaten you to take your stuff, then I got to come back and develop another scheme. Now, the Europeans, they're very good at developing schemes. They're master at developing lies and schemes. But if you are God, you ought to be a master at deciphering their schemes. You see what I'm saying? If you know God and love God, God will let you decipher their schemes and see what they're up to before they even get to you. And if you can't do that, then you got to go back to God and say, man, what have I not checked? Why don't you give me the power to discern when people come up to me and what they want? And he will. Man, you know, anytime you ask God for anything, he gives it to you. Now, if you can't recognize the gift when he gives it to you, that's on you. But he gives it to you. Like I was talking on the phone, I think I was talking to Mike about this, Al.
Okay.
The woman that come, the woman that come to talk last week,
Yes.
we done traced them back to Lakewood. Okay, now follow me. We done traced them back to Lakewood. Who come from Lakewood? Dave, what's that?
Brock.
Dave Brock come from Lakewood. Who else come from Lakewood? Who else come from Lakewood? The judge that give Ernest them, don't give Ernest them time. Come from Lakewood. So my point is, can you see a scheme coming your way?
Yeah.
Who won East Cleveland? Who won East Cleveland?
Investors.
No. Cleveland Clinic won East Cleveland. Because they want to come down you. But they can't get East Cleveland if you got a mayor in there that ain't going to capitulate.
That's true.
But if you got a mayor in there that should run on your team, all you got to do is send out a message. We want this, this, and this, and they're prepared for it. See, people don't see.
And if they
People don't see when stuff is coming their way or can't discern.
or if they want to go in any war, the council person got to stand up and make sure that they can make sure where they can.
But if
get in there.
you were one of the ones that got that council person in, you helped them, and can't that council person say, well, you got to vote on what I want you to vote on. And what you gonna do?
Huh?
Tell the truth. We talking about telling the truth, man.
I'm gonna tell the truth. Tell him. Keep say no. Don't bring him in here.
No, he wants you. He wants you to vote for him. And you got to be strong enough to say, look, man, I'm here representing the people, and I can't vote that way. Now, most council, unless you are an exception to the rule, because most councilmen vote the way their money, whoever gives them the money.
I don't care if they giving me money or not.
You said that now.
I'm gonna say no.
You
No,
said
I
that.
don't want them.
You said that now, but when you get in there good and money get to paying off, and
Yeah.
the girls get to looking at you,
No,
flirting with you.
I
I'm just
don't
telling
Tell
you.
the truth.
I'm telling the truth.
That's when God
I
needs you to tell the
better
truth.
tell the truth all the time. I
And
can't hold that seat if I ain't telling the truth.
then somebody come around one night and say, Dante, we're gonna get you out the way. We're gonna do something to you if you don't pass this bill. And one of them, you said that now, one of them lonely nights you going, getting off the bus, going home, and a car pull up and say, Dante, did you how'd you vote? And that's when
I voted no.
yeah, okay. That's when you really gonna need this fella right here.
Jesus.
See, because you need God, because what? Every man is afraid to die. Don't let nobody fool you. The devil said in the Bible, he said, skin for skin. A man will give anything to keep from dying. So everybody's afraid to die. But when you love God, God gives you courage to override death through understanding. You understand? Through understanding, he give you courage. How you think this guy was celebrating, Ibrahim Traoré? Every day he faced death. Every day, and these Europeans that's after him because he won't let them take their gold. Every day he faced death. But you know what he said? I'm minded. I love my people. Now, that's why you know your counselors don't love you. Ain't nobody want to fight your education. None of them.
No.
Ain't nobody want to fight to uplift it. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't care if you see it or not. When George Floyd went into council, I think he stayed in there 18, 19 years. His ward don't look no better than nobody else's. When he came out rich. Personal change, not social change. His ward didn't look no better. Look at Mike White. He was in there, did his stealing. When he come out, his ward didn't look no better. They had ingratiated the white folks in their neighborhood, but they hadn't gave their people nothing. Oh, sure, he gave them a few jobs. What the hell is it up? You got a whole city.
Go to your job.
See?
And all your whole.
Yeah, you got a whole city. So, I'm gonna go on record by saying this, and I don't care who says anything about it. Hey, Ted. My man, Ted in town, y'all.
All right, Brother Ted.
We listening.
No
Couldn't find a pen.
precinct people have went downtown and argued on your behalf. They went downtown and made friends with white folks. And they voted like the white folks. Mike, you remember you was telling me there was a time when the majority of the council down there was black, and they could have voted in their will and their way.
They had 9 members of color and 8 whites.
And 8 whites. 9 black members and 8. And they could have voted in the interests of black folks. What did they do?
Well, one of the things that we were hoping that they would do was form a black caucus. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And by that, you can, and vote in a block. You understand what I'm saying? Like the Republicans do. When they control the House or the Senate, they have their way because they have the majority. Anytime you got the majority of the votes on the council, then you should run the council. But if you're not, if you're disjointed, then that effort is
It's for naught.
right.
So the white folks knew they had their way back when these councilmen were little kids in school. Because they defined the circumference of their knowledge. They knew that when they grow old, they could control the radius of their activity. So, you understand? When they was in school, and they'll tell you, man, I graduated from such, but it didn't change you, and it didn't change nothing. A man going to Elias College learned how to lie professionally. Y'all hear me? Because Elias College can't teach the truth, Ted. So where would you get the truth from? So now what they learn how to say big words to sideline you and sidestep you to make you think they're talking about something. But hell, man, a sentence got a subject, a verb, a noun, and a predicate. Anybody can break down what they're saying. They can say big sharp words that big, but what do they mean? And then after you say it, people look. What did they do? Those go together. Here's what he said, but this is what he did. Lie. That my man stood up here and told me he's going to give us $31 million to develop the community. And what did he do? He lied. Why? Because he went to Elias College. They determined his knowledge, and then they put him on the job, and he couldn't do nothing else but lie. And now, let me tell you, but that ain't the bad thing. Now he's going to come back to the people and kind of brush his little lie up, like what he going to do next time. No, bro, you had a chance. Black folks are the most gullible, unread people in the world.
That's true.
Now he's going to come back and tell another lie. And old one will say, but I like him, he's young. But look, man, if a lie will come to you on $1 million bill, you turn it away. Because it's a lie. Even if $1 million, it can't do no good for you. That's why guys selling drugs, they never come to a good end. Either the police stop them and take all their money, take all their drugs, and they give them time in jail. Or if they're successful and make it out the drug game, they buy a business, and their business go kaput. You understand? Very, very, very few people in the drug game ever make out big. So a lie cannot get you anywhere, man. In fact, when you tell a person the truth, they can't come back. What are they gonna come back with? Did you do that? No, I didn't do it. But somebody said you do it, prove it. I'm telling you, I didn't do it. And they could go and try to manufacture some shit, but manufactured shit can be pulled apart. The truth can't. Why? Because the truth is always is. A lie never was. See? Now, like we was talking the other day, Ted, I think the black salvation for America, for black people, don't come from abroad.
Yeah, Fauci.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fauci, yeah.
Abraham.
Fauci.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was on TV the other day talking to the American people, American blacks, and he was saying, "We know y'all was stolen. We tried to fight, but we didn't have the stuff to fight them with." He said, "But now we at a place where we can tell y'all, come on home. We got land for you. We got money to help you start your own business. Come on home." And then what the Bible said? And God asked us to do what? Come out of her.
Be not partakers.
That's right. Come out of her, and you'll come out of her with great substance. And why he tells us to come out of her? Because he's getting ready to destroy her. He's getting ready to destroy her. Now, he whoever is, let him listen. You can stay around this shiny shit in America if you want to, but you're going to have to make a decision whether you want to stay here and die or go back home and live. That's what we're going to come down to, Ted. Stay here and die or go home and live. I know it's hard. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
The Negroes that got their hands sank in money and things and land over here, they ain't going to want to let go, like that monkey. That little monkey, they cut a little hole in that thing, and they put a little goodie inside. That monkey put his hand there and get it, and he can't get his hand out.
Yeah, 'cause
And
he
that's
hold
you
on
know
to
that,
it.
yeah, that monkey he would get caught before he let that stuff go. And black folks, that's what we go down. I'm telling you, that's because why? Because the whole United States, the basis of it is a lie. Now, unless you can change the basis of the country from a lie to a truth, God gonna destroy it. He destroy all lies. He destroy all lies. Now, if you can convert, and Dr. King said, before he died, he said, there's a certain maturity that America gonna have to achieve. He said, but I doubt if they'll make it. Because he's seen this whole, all the institutions in America were lies. And then he said, what you talking about? I led my people into a burning house. Why? Because all America was a lie. Now, we're going to have to learn how to be truthful. That's the only way we're going to get out of this thing. I'm going to tell you why. There's going to be questions asked. And you're going to respond with the total truth. And when you return, when you come back with the total truth, then you enact God to help you. But if you tell a lie, God can't help you because he's not of lies. So you just have to tell. Now, it's hard to go from being in this lying country, coming up through lying institutions, lying schools, and then you can't automatically go through this and arrive at the truth. You're going to have somebody outside who bring you out of this. Just like in the Masons. You can't get in the Masons unless somebody bring you in. You know that? You got to have somebody there to speak for you and bring you in. Well, you can't get out of these lies unless you have a teacher. Unless you have an instructor. Give you step by step on how to get out of these lies. And I tell you, first thing to open your eyes is your eating. It's what you eat. Once you start eating the correct diet, then your body start thinking the correct thoughts. And it will teach you how to identify truth. Your eating habit, what you put in your stomach. Because what you put in your stomach have to agree with what God put there. And when it agree with what God put there, then it open up some rooms for you to understand some more. And when you understand, and you have a teacher that teaches you to tell the truth, and won't accept nothing else from you but the truth, then you learn how to tell. Now, I taught my grandbaby. I told him, I said, every time you lie, there's going to be a consequence. But every time you tell the truth, there's going to be a reward. And do you know that reward outweighed that consequence? So he'll come to you and he said, I'm telling you, I'll tell you the truth, Papa. This was blah, 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 blah. And then I go back and double check and that be true. So we have to reward truth more than we reward lies. Like, you know when somebody lies to you. Mike, you know when they lie to you. Rather than, I tell you, rather than have you go on, let's back up a little bit. Now let's start with the truth, and then let's go on. Because if we continue this line and talk, we on, and I know you're lying, and you know you're lying, we ain't gonna get nowhere. And I'm gonna tell you something. You can't do nothing, accomplish nothing with a liar. Try it. Get you a lying woman, and try to accomplish something with her. Nothing. Everywhere, nothing. So you have to back up and educate a woman on marriage, on what it means to be married, on family. You have to educate your woman on that. Because they don't come out the world like that. In the world ain't nothing but a lie. And they learn slick talk. They didn't teach their little baby slick talk. I used to date this girl, and every time I go there, her little baby wanted to jump up in my lap. I said, no, you can't do that, baby, go on. And she wouldn't say nothing about it. I guess she was telling the baby, soften him up, because I'm going to rip him off at the end of the day. You know, but you gotta, how do you tell the truth about everything you've seen, tasted, touched, felt, said, or thought? You tell the truth about all of it. And that's going to be hard. I remember with my, when I first started doing that, I was with had another wife. The girl was saying, you know, to tell the truth will set you free. And so I started telling the truth all the time about how I felt. Did you look at that woman? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. She had big old juice. Yes, I did. So I started telling the truth about everything. And it set me free. She got the hell out of there, man. She left. So I was free. At least I was free from her. But see, you are either free to or you're free from. And that's what we have to decide. Am I free from sinning or am I free to do my own calculation of sin? I'm free to do this or am I free from this? And you have to make up your mind. So then I started thinking about lying. I said, why would I lie to a woman? Why would I lie to her? I ain't scared of her. She don't have nothing I particularly want. I got my own money. Why would I constantly try to trick her to get into bed? I can negotiate that. Hey, look, I want some sex, let's go. Why would I have to lie to her to get some sex? And if she wants somebody to lie to her to get some sex, she ain't my woman no way.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? So you really, when you really look at why do I lie? Am I scared of somebody? Do I lie to white people when they come up on me to make them feel good? Why do I lie? Why not? I don't shuffle when they come up on me. See, I don't shuffle. Why do I lie to them? Do I try to make myself look bigger? I can only be a man. That's all I can be is a man. See? And the money I got is all the money I got. I ain't trying to take nobody's money. So why do I lie? And why don't I treat you like you my brother? I felt
Or you my sister.
or you my sister. I felt the first thing of brotherhood in this town the other day. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I was going into the gas station to get some gas. And there's another brother going into the gas station to get some gas. And so as I went, I said, darn, I'm gonna have to go in and come around the other side unless he go to the first tank. He seen me coming. He did like this. He went to the first tank, that let me go to the second tank. And then as we got at the cars, I said, hey man, I appreciate that. He said, yeah, he said, man, we brothers, we got to start thinking like that. See? And we do. We have to start thinking like, what's good for you, if I can see it coming, I got to do it before you get there. See? That's brother that I got. If something to bother L and I see it's going to bother L, I got to take care of before L get there. So when L get there, he said, all right, good looking, Ernie. That's what brotherhood is about. That's what brotherhood, and like the Bible, the Quran said, don't be jealous of nothing of your brothers. But that's which is for you will not pass you by. And that which you pass you by was not for you. So when your brother gets something good, you be happy for him. Because you know who's the giver of every good and perfect gift? He gave it to him. So why are you jealous of what he gave? That's what God asked, the angel asked Abel. Asked Cain, why did you kill your brother Abel? Why have your constant fallen? Don't you know if you do well, I reward you too? See, we can't be jealous of each other. We got to help each other. And we got to see that this brother needs help way before he gets to it. And help him out. Because I'm going to tell you this. One of the things I'm saying. We're growing. We're getting ready. The black nation is getting ready to grow. I ain't talking about the black nation in the United States. I'm talking about the black nation in the world. We're getting ready. It says that you will be in her for how many years?
400.
400 years. That 400 years is up. Africa is moving with jet-like stream for their freedom. We got to hear their cry and join in. We are Africa diaspora. That means we're Africans, but we're not in our motherland. And as they grow, as their cry grow, already he got 8 countries that done decided with him to protect, to invest, to run their own stuff. So we know a war gonna come, but when the war comes, the African countries will be united. And when that army come up, you heard that woman sing that song. There's an army rising up to break every chain, to break every chain. The chains of what? The chains of our mind. They've been broken. And we have to have enough knowledge to join them in the cry for freedom when they start rising up. Because you know what? If Ibrahim Touré look around the world, I got an army in Jamaica. I got an army in the United States. I got an army in the Caribbean. I got an army all around the world. And when the consciousness comes and we rise up after 400 years, God said you're free and you'll come out of her with great substance. But we got to study Africa and see how she moves. And as she moves, we got to move. That's our own salvation. America ain't treating us like we were citizens. You know that. They lynch us and they hang us. And they send their police to kill us at whim and whim. They haven't treated us like citizens. But our motherland has said, y'all look, come on home. Come on home. And then God told us what? 400 years, come out of her. Come out of her. We don't want to leave. We love them cedar streets, don't we? We love them downtown taverns. We love them Friday night stop-off. We don't want to leave, but you got to if you want to survive. If you want to survive. You remember when God went down to Sodom and Gomorrah and he told Lot, he said, get your folks and come on out. His wife, supposed to be the one sleep with him and love him every night. His wife, he told him, don't turn back and look at the city. Because as soon as you turn back, you'll be turned in the stone. But her love for the city kept her looking back. And he destroyed her. Not because she was a bad lady, but because where her heart was. Her heart was with the city. And her heart, when your heart can't be with the city and God too. But God told us, you will go in, you will stay there for 400 years, and 400 years is up. Now here's a brother over in Africa. See our plight. See the people in Jamaica and all that. So, see all, and he said, look, come home. It's been 400 years. And it went on to say, we tried to fight for you when they took you, but we didn't have the power then. But we have the power now. Do you know that in Burkina Faso, they found a tunnel where the Dutch tried to steal gold out their country? Found tons of gold. And the people said, well, the scared people say, well, you better find out who it is and get it back. And then Ibrahim said, but it's on our soil. And then he said, well, you know, we don't want no trouble. The scared Negroes said, we don't want no trouble with the European. He said, no, it's on our soil, it's ours. And they processed it. That's how they started building their institution. Because it was their gold.
Yeah.
That's been taken by the colonials or hidden in a tunnel. He took it, he kept it. Now the Europeans were mad at it. He said, well, that's our gold. We don't go to France and dig in France, trying to get there now. He said, this is ours. And when he said that, the other countries stepped up. Niger stepped up. Mali stepped up. And they locked arms. And other Chad stepped up. And they're going to lock arms all over Africa. And you know what? Then the nations of the world won't be fighting a nation. They'll be fighting a continent. See, you talk all you want. You ain't whooping no continent. Because they have stuff coming at you from every different way. And they knew that if those, everything they've been trying to do is keep them countries apart. Because they knew if they came together, there'd be too much. And that's what we got to do. That's our fight in this city. If I can get some Negroes just learn how to tell the truth, just tell them the truth to start a fight. Did you know that? If I went down on the county council floor and told Chris Rodin, why would you take our money to build a damn stadium? How'd I do that? You did it with your taxes. You overtaxed for housing taxes. And you're going to use that money to build a damn stadium. If we got to start confronting them guys and telling them guys the truth, whether they like us or not, we got to start telling them the truth. See? You got a long day, didn't you, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know. I ain't going to be long. You see?
But I'm right here with you.
Yeah.
Me too.
What does it take? What does it take to tell people the truth? Just like you did Dave. When Dave come to you, tell him, why you want to come down here? Say, hell, you gave him the platform. We just come to check him out. And we got to have that much courage, you know, to tell them much truth. And then I know for a fact, I think I know, pretty sure I know, that Ernest name was set up.
Ernie Smith. Yeah.
It was set up because they want to come into East Cleveland and take stuff. And you can't come in a strong man's house and take his stuff unless you bind it. Jesus said that. You cannot come into a strong man's house unless you bind it. And, but the truth gonna come out. And when the truth come out, hey brother, hey.
Hey, bro.
My name man.
Oh, you're my name, man.
Hey man, brother, hey.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, you came out the, what you call that?
Brother Hayes.
Hibernate.
Brother Hayes, very right. But you know what? But when it comes down to Bubba,
I would look for you, Mr. Hayes.
I want to teach you something right here, Dante. When it comes down to Bubba, you ain't gotta hate him.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta dislike him.
You can love him.
Just look, just don't lie in his favor.
That's right.
See, just don't, when he come to you and ask you something, tell him the truth.
That's true.
You've been running over us in the United States, you don't mean us no good. You killed folks in Alabama, Mississippi, and all through the South. You lynched our people. You took us to the north and wouldn't give us jobs. You kept us from getting in the unions. And then when we got a job, we was the lowest paid. Tell them the truth. Then tell them the truth. And see, when you start telling the
Telling
truth,
the truth will
when you
set you
start-
free.
when it's that, one way or another,
It'll make you free.
it'll make you free, one way or another. And see, but what our politicians do, like that old congressman down in, where's he, Tennessee, his name, Brad, whatever,
There you go.
that black guy.
Okay.
Jim Crow didn't hurt us. Jim Crow didn't. You see what I'm saying? We get to tell it. We get to tell him what he want to hear from us.
How you feeling, man?
See? The truth. Truth.
Kind of news coming out
Where did the truth come from? There's a right way and a wrong way.
in the wrong way.
And truth comes from the right way. That's where it comes from, the right way. There's a right way to drive a car and there's a wrong way. Truth comes from the right way. But now, this man got us so damn discombobulated in America, black folks so discombobulated. We always trying to appease him, so we always talk about the wrong way. That's how he got us, man. He got us by everything.
Right.
And then he gets you down there on the square. He said, Dante, didn't Ukraine attack Russia? And then he said, and then he do this, Dante. He said, Dante, didn't Ukraine attack Russia?
Nope.
But our politicians said, yeah, it did. I remember when they did it.
I remember it.
Yeah, they attacked Russia.
They probably tell me why did you say that they did?
Oh, I tell you what you do. Do like my mayor did. I didn't do the night. Hey, how you doing? His wife said something about the Jews. And then, and they jumped on him about it. I said, first of all, you jumped on the wrong person. Take that issue to his wife. She said it. She ought to know why she said it. And then not only take it to his wife, go listen to her whole story. She might have had a reason to say what she said. But you ain't gonna never find out if your feelings get so hurt when you hear something. Go to the woman and ask her her whole story. Where did she get that from? But now, if you're a Negro, like some people I know on radio and stuff, scared to talk about the truth.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them scared.
We got to move past being scared
Got that right.
because God is on our side.
You always want to take something when you tell them the truth.
God is on our side. Now, I don't know if what she said was truth or not. I just know she said something. And if she needed to apologize, have an apology. If it was wrong what she said, then she should have the right to apologize. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in my right mind when I said it or such and such. If you're wrong, you can't make this. You cannot make wrong right. Hey, my brother. Come on in there. I was just talking about you. And see, you cannot make wrong right. No matter how you try. Man, I owe you an apology last week because I overslept. I woke up.
All right, that's fine, brother.
But I was just talking about you, man.
Hey.
They trying to set y'all up. They trying to say, let me tell you, and then I'm tell you where it comes from. This white woman that's running, this white woman that's running, she's from Lakewood. Okay? She ain't been in the neighborhood a whole year, actually living. Now how can she be a mayor in your city when she don't know the hurt, she don't know the pain that the people been through, she don't know the people.
Right.
And then we gotta back up and see who sent her.
Right.
See, when you see who sent her. You see, because the same people sent her, sent David Rock.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. And
it's
you
just
know
a
what?
shame that the alternative is the same people that got me in the trick bag, and now they it's going crazy back at my home. It's crazy
Yeah.
to the point where Latif Shabazz then got so desperate he didn't reached out to me
Did he?
after all of this, trying to send me to jail, but it's just to get that seat.
Just it. But you know what? They do the same thing to him.
Right.
Yeah,
Because they want East Cleveland.
yeah,
They want to come down Euclid. Cleveland Clinic want to come down Euclid. They ain't got no more space to expand.
yeah.
So what you do, you get the warriors out the way. See, when a man is asleep, you can take anything he got. How do you, and I've said it before, how do you take a man, strong man's stuff that you bind in the purchase?
You better wake up.
Cleveland Clinic want to come down Euclid. Ain't no way else for them to expand. And that's coming down from Euclid, you got to get the leadership out the way. And you send them.
Right.
You send them. What do they call those people when like the United States
Universal.
put a guy in power.
Universal trying to
What
get
they
down
call
here
it?
with you.
What they call it? What kind of leader?
Puppet.
A puppet leader. And they send a puppet leader from Lakewood, and she want to be y'all Matt Ware. She don't know nothing about the people. And you know what? If the people vote for her, they got to be dumb as hell. Or if the people vote for somebody that don't hold their interests at heart, they got to be dumb as hell. And I'm saying that. Look at my face. If you vote for her who don't know you and think she gonna preserve your interests, you got to be dumb as hell.
She said she been living there a year.
Living there don't matter. Yeah, I never seen her do anything in the city. You
Me either. I don't even know who she is.
you gotta be crazy, man.
She gotta be crazy.
All right, well, let me go back to truth.
Brother
True.
Fred, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Truth may send you to jail, honey. But the truth send you there. God follow truth. God follow truth. And he support truth.
Right, right.
So if you go to jail, God wants you there for a reason.
Right.
He wants you there for a reason. What's the reason? There may be somebody in there who have his ideology, and it's like your ideology, that he wants you to be. Now, I'm not saying that like these lying preachers be telling you, a change won't come, and this. I'm telling you, truth is from God. God stand behind truth. So if truth take you somewhere, God sent you there. And you ain't got to worry about it. Because as sure as he sent you there, what they do, what happened when Joseph went to jail? Joseph went to jail. And because they're a lie. They said he tried to mess with the king, the king's wife, right?
Yeah,
And he went to jail, right?
yeah.
But what did God do?
He raised him up while he was in there.
And talked and brought him out. Because there was a reason for Joseph to go down there. And then God is so clever, man. He did it in such a clever way. He said, now the king had a dream. No one could interpret the dream. And then a man who was in jail said, well, I was in there, I met a man. And he could interpret dreams. And the king said he could. He said, send for it. And then Joseph come up and he said, oh, king. He said, oh, king. He said, you're going to have 7 years of plenty, but you're going to have 7 years of drought. You better prepare for it. So God uses us as he chooses. I'm like you. I don't want to go to no jail. But if that's what's truth take me,
Right.
that's why God wants me to go.
You be better off.
Because that's what God wants. Because after I come out, what did it say about Job? And after Job went through his affliction, God did what? Gave him twice as much as he had before his affliction. And then he gave him 3 daughters. In all the land there were no women finer than Job's daughter. But Job made a mistake because he used to give his boy stuff. He said, and Job gave his daughters inheritance among their brothers. So God knows best, even though we don't think he knows best. He knows best. And on that we got to sit and have faith on that God does know best. And in time of calamity, he ain't going to leave you alone. He'll never leave you alone. No matter what you think of this world is a lying world.
Yeah.
But you can't beat it telling their lies. You got to tell the truth. You got to tell the truth. Man come in there and put a gun in my head. He said, look, tell a lie. Just a little lie. I said, can't do it. Why? Because I think if you're going to kill me, God meant for me to die today. See, he meant for me to die today. And I don't want nothing that God don't want. I want nothing God don't want. Because I know he started my beginning, 1948, he started my beginning, and he know my ending. And all the things I do from 48 to whenever he called me home, it's in his hand. And then even after, it's in his hand. So if I didn't have that faith, I wouldn't even be up here. I wouldn't even be up here. Mahalia Jackson had to audacity to say, he got the whole world in his hand.
You got to look every day.
But I know the greatest thing black people in America, as Africa make their move toward freedom, we got to be thinking along with them. So when freedom comes, we just reach out and join with them. I'm telling you. Much as they want to kill Ibrahim Traore, God ain't gonna let him do it. He's bringing his country up. And they have the birthright, that's their land. All the gold and mineral rights is theirs, that's their birthright. Otherwise, God would have put that stuff up in Europe. Do you know, Europe haven't had a year of peace? They haven't had a year. There's never been a 50-year period where there wasn't a war in Europe. Not even a 50-year period. So what that tell you? That's the home of the liars, and the home of the fighters, and the home of the murderers, and the home of the
Devil
killers.
come from.
And then for us to want to be like them, for us to want to be like them means that we done took on so much of them that we done forgot ourselves. We done forgot ourselves. See, and I'm gonna quit that we could talk a little bit. We gotta love each other, man.
Right.
I mean, ain't none of us perfect. We all make mistakes, but when you like that. If the woman in Cleveland Heights talk about the Jews, if she perceived as a mistake, I don't know what she said, then she just confess her mistake. Because God do require we confess when we do wrong. Right, Ted?
Yeah,
Do wrong, you confess it.
he right all right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody got any problems with telling the truth all the time? Because at one time you don't tell the truth, that's when they whoop you. You know what, Maddie? If somebody asks you a question and you tell them a lie, then you have to go back in yourself and say, why did I lie? Was I afraid of them? Was I scared they're going to do something to me? Did I want something from them? Why did I lie? I afraid they was going to send me away. Why did I lie? See, the truth be places that you don't think they're at. And all they need is somebody to stand up and tell them.
Right.
That's all they need, somebody to stand up and tell the truth. See, in truth, there is no hate. In truth, there is a fulfillment of love and understanding. There ain't no hate in truth. Just tell the truth. Black folks will not be in slavery if we not lie. One last thing before I let you go. When Nat Turner had this, if all the Africans had went with Nat Turner, I'm talking about all, not just someone, I'm talking scared ones and all, it would have been a different situation in this country. Because everybody in this country have always fought for their liberation. The Italians fought by creating the mafia. And so then they control the judges. Because the judges know if they kill them, the mafia will kill you. See, the Jews, they won theirs by tying up all the money. And they bought everybody. And black folks, we just voted for everybody. You know, and after we vote for them, they still go downtown and treat us
Right.
like dogs.
Right.
They
right,
still, they
right.
don't,
Turn on you.
they treat us like dogs.
That's the turn on you. It was already like that.
But until we, see, the problem is we don't listen to nobody. Brothers be coming around giving us information, and we don't listen. And we don't listen. Thinking we know it all. We got two things we got to do. Learn to tell the truth, and we got to learn to come together in unity. And one was gonna save us. It's gonna be all about voices together. And as they cry out from Africa, we got to cry back, we're coming home. See, he said, look, we know y'all was stolen, but we didn't have the stuff to fight with to get you back. He said, but now we're at a point we can fight. Come home. God tells us in 400 years you gotta come out of it. You gotta come out of it. And those we left behind because they love us, they'll be destroyed with it. And that's my message for today. Any questions? Any questions? Anybody got any problem with telling the truth?
What I'll say is I don't lie on purpose. Sometimes I lie out of ignorance. I mean, not lie.
Yeah.
You
Well-
know, out of ignorance, because like you say, the educational system sometimes dictate that your truth is the truth that you believe is the truth is actually a lie, because it's been embedded into our educational system. You know, funny you should mention that, because I was just, and I said I was going to get the book. Carter G. Woodson wrote a book entitled "The Miseducation of the Negro."
Yeah.
And like you say, you know.
Now, if he told a lie, he didn't know it because he ain't been educated, right?
And I think that one of the biggest mistakes that we make in the African American community is to think because a man is not certified by this Eurocentric institution of higher learning that he doesn't qualify to lead us. Because sometimes when I look at the situation from when I was a child, you know what I'm saying? In our community, we had black banks, we had black gas stations, we had black everything. You understand? And that denotes that we were in better condition. What we didn't have at that time was all these degrees that we have today. So it raises the question for me, are we being educated to liberate ourselves, or how do I say it? Is the education system designed to free us, or is it designed to make us fit into a system that is diametrically opposed to our freedom?
That's what it is.
Because we got all these degrees, but look at the condition
Let me ask you
we didn't
something.
have those back then.
Let me ask you something. Now, Dick, you know what I'm talking about. You ever seen the old pimp out there free his prostitute? Go on, girl, you free. You ever seen it? And I know you done seen a lot of stuff. But you ain't never seen no pimp free his prostitutes out. Because if you do, his money base gone. See, and no, he ain't got no education system to free us. Never did, because he ain't never loved us.
Right.
But we ain't never loved us either, because we never developed an education system of our own.
Right.
You can't put it all on him. Look, man, look, if the white man work all week, take his money, put it on the education system. I work all week, take my money and buy Budweiser and Jim, and whatever, Jim Beam. Well, I mean, damn. And then I want to send my kid over to his school. That ain't progress for me.
Right.
That's me still want to be on welfare. He take his money, spend it on his kids' education.
Right.
I take my money and go down to the liquor store. Come on, and then we say
Right.
he ain't
Don't
being.
do
Then we
that,
say,
man.
no, let me tell you how trifling Negroes is. Then we say he ain't being fair.
But I have a question.
All
Even if I do take my money and spend it on my kids' education, whose educational system do I send my kids to? That lying educational system that you spoke of earlier?
No,
So he's being educated. I think that one of our downfalls is we don't have an educational system that teach our cultural value. You know, because we hand our kids over to the Eurocentric education system at the age of 5, and sometimes we don't get them back until after college.
Why do we